Good morning, sailors. Welcome back. Excited this morning to get back to our discussion on sales tax and tips and markup today. But before we do that, we are going to take a few minutes and talk about ALEKS and how that is going to work on your Wednesdays. So starting this Wednesday, which is going to be October 28th, start your Wednesday learnings at home. And so Mr. Terpstra and Mr. Whalen and myself have discussed and decided that you will, on Wednesdays, spend 15 minutes doing ALEKS every Wednesday. Now, a couple weeks ago, or actually when we first introduced ALEKS to you and got you logged in, we talked about there's going to be a certain amount of time a week that you need to make sure you complete an ALEKS, a required amount of minutes. And so your required amount of minutes is going to be 30 minutes each week. So on Wednesdays, you'll have 15 minutes covered. You'll have to find at some point throughout the week, and I'll show you what a week consists of. I'll show you a report that I look at. Another 15 minutes within that week, so you get a total of 30. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So Mr. Terpstra, Mr. Whalen, and myself can bring up class reports in ALEKS. And so, for example, right now I have one of my groups, one of my class rosters loaded. And you're going to notice here on the dashboard over on the right, there's a section called Time and Topic in the Learning Mode. And if you look right at the bottom here, it's dated October 19th through the 25th. So that was last Monday through this Sunday. And so that's a week in ALEKS. So it'll take into account every single time, Monday through Sunday. So you have from Monday through Sunday to get your 30 minutes of ALEKS time in. So let me open up this as well so you can see the full report that we see. And it'll give us an overall graphic, first off, to just show us like the peak times that students are working on ALEKS. Like, so for example, on this one, in this specific class, this roster, students spent more time, it looks like on October 20th here, which was Tuesday, and then also on Thursday, October 22nd. So if I keep going, we then can each look at the students in that roster, and it'll give us a total time of engagement in ALEKS. And so if I just take a quick peek through here, so Emma is very, very close. She was a minute away, but we didn't start last week, right? So if we are starting this week, she would have gotten almost 100% on participation points for ALEKS for the week. If I keep going, Corinne had 52 minutes. She would have gotten for sure the participation points at 100% for ALEKS for the week. We're looking for 30, right? 30 minutes is what we need to see in this column. So every week we'll be able to pull this report up and see what that looks like. And so we can go through each of our classes, and that's exactly how we're going to be able to tell if you've spent your 30 minutes a week on ALEKS. So today is Monday. And so you now have today, Monday through, which is October 26th, through Sunday, which is November 1st, to get 30 minutes of ALEKS time in. So I said, you're going to have 15 minutes every single Wednesday. That is going to be your at-home learning requirement for us, for math. So you need to get your 15 minutes done. If you want to do more than 15 minutes that day, that is totally up to you. We're just asking for 15 minutes that day. That's it. Beyond that, you choose where you want to spend the other 15 minutes to get it done. So you have a total of 30. Okay. And so I'm just showing you another report. And so if I look right here, Jillian, she would have got 100% in participation points. We're looking for that at 30. It has to be 30 minutes or more. So keep that in mind. I'll keep reminding you, Mr. Terpstra will remind you, Mr. Whalen, that on Wednesdays, that's what you're expected to do. And then by this Sunday, November 1st, when we pull these reports up, we're going to be looking for that 30 minutes. Okay. So one of the first things getting into today, since it was Thursday that we started lesson 6, so it's been a few days, we're going to do a warm-up. And so you're just going to take out right now some lined paper. And I have 2 problems for you to try based on what we had done on Thursday. This is going to look like this. And you're going to find the tax and you're going to find the tip. So I have an example of a Spider-Man Halloween mask, which is $4.99, and it's going to have 6% tax. I need you to set that problem up and find the tax amount on that. And then you're going to go over to number 2 and find the tip. You're going to have lunch at the station that's going to cost $12.55, and you're going to leave a 15% tip. So again, you're going to set that up and find that tip amount. If you can't remember how to do it, remember in the book, we did a couple together on Thursday. So real quick, taking a look, that's going to be on page 154 or 155. You can take a look, or 157, I believe also. You can go back to those book pages for a reminder. So you're going to pause the video right now. You're going to use your line paper and calculator. You're going to set these problems up. Warm-ups and typically should take no more than 5 minutes. We don't do them all the time, but they typically should take about 5 minutes. I'm only giving you 2 problems here. So pause, try these, and then we'll come back and go over these together. Okay, so let's take a look. So finding the tax, number 1. On that Halloween mask with the problem set up, remember we talked about how you're finding the part. And so you're going to see how much tax, the part, out of the $4.99 mask, that's the whole, if it has 6% Michigan sales tax out of 100%. So cross-multiplying and solving that problem in a proportion format, you come up with this. X equals 0.2994. And we talked about rounding on Thursday. And so you have to look in the thousands in order to round the hundreds if you need to with dollars and cents. So absolutely we need to here. That 9 in the thousands needs to round that 9 in the hundreds up. And so there's 30 cents in tax right there. $sign, 30 cents in tax. Tip, finding the tip. So you have lunch at the station that costs $12.55. You're going to leave the wait staff a 15% tip. So once again, setting the problem up in that same proportion format, finding the part, X, out of the whole, the $12.55 lunch, and then 15% out of 100% for the tip. Once again, cross-multiplying and solving, you do come up with originally X equals 1.8825. And so now we need to look at this 2 in the thousands to tell us what we're going to do to the 8 in the hundreds. And I don't need to round. So that means I'm going to leave a $1.88 tip. Now, some people for sure will give the exact amount, meaning they'll put the dollar bill down and they'll put the 88 cents with it. For sure, I've seen it happen, and you may have as well. Sometimes, there's guests that don't want to deal with change. And so instead of leaving $1.88, maybe they round it up to $2 and they leave $2 bills with the bill or with the with the bill or on the table for the waitstaff. And it could vary. You don't have to stick to exactly what it tells you, even though some people will absolutely do that. Feel free, if you're leaving that tip, that you can go up a little bit or you can go down a little bit. But always remember, you should give a tip no matter what. So even if your service isn't great, you still have to make sure you leave something for that wait staff. That is part of their hourly or the income that they receive, I guess is the best way to put it. So they get a very low hourly wage. And so the tips that they receive help compensate that. And so even if the service is bad, you do have to leave one, but then you could also make sure you communicate with the manager or whoever's there just to, let them know what you're dissatisfied with. But don't ever not leave a tip. Now, second part, I want to talk about right now. We did talk about this on Thursday. So I'm going to bridge off of this, and then we're going to go back to what we did on Thursday and practice it again. So I'm going to talk about total cost. Let's go back here. So, it's great to know how much tax it is going to be. It's going to be 30 cents in tax if it's a 6% tax in Michigan. But don't you want to know how much total that's going to cost you? So the next step is finding that total cost. Total cost. So that means I'm going to take this $4.99 mask and I'm going to add to that the 30 cents in tax. So when you're at the register at Party City paying for that Halloween mask and it rings up the $4.99 and then the register automatically calculates that 6% tax, that 30 cents, then it's going to add it together for you and it's going to give you a total. So if you were to check in your calculator right now, $4.99 plus 0.30, adding those together, the cashier is going to tell you that you owe for that mask $5.29. That is your total cost. Okay, so you find the tax. Second step, you add them together. Total means add. So you're going to add those values together to find out how much you're going to pay. $5.29 total. Now, when you talk about a tip, you're talking about total bill. So how much money you're going to pay overall with what you ordered for, let's say, lunch, and then the tip on top of that, how much everything costs combined, total bill. So we're going to take the $12.55 and we're going to add to that the $1.88 tip. Okay, so let's calculate total bill at the station. Oops. $12.55 plus 188. And so if you do that, and if you're checking in your calculator, it should be $14.43. Total bill at the station, what you ordered plus tip, $14.43. So we're going to transition. And we're going to go back to where we were on Thursday. So you're now going to go into your book. Make sure your book is out. And you're going to go to page 154 to start. So pause, please. Get your book ready on page 154 with your calculator and your pencil. I'll meet you right back.